Yuki Tsunoda ranked 17th, Pierre Gasly ranked 14th, and of course, it was a very difficult season for the Frenchman, who, for me, struggled to get used to these new generation of cars. It does seem to be when you give Pierre Gasly a new car that he can't get the hang of. He does take a while to find his feet. But having said that, he still scored 23 points compared to 12 for Yuki Tsunoda. I know he's been heavily criticised, but for me, yes, I know Pierre has to do a lot better than this if he wants to have a chance of beating Esteban Ocon at LP next season. Pierre Gasly was unlucky with that engine failure at Bahrain, and he was also taken out of the race at Miami thanks to Fernando Alonso, and of course that collision he had with Yuki Tsunoda at Silverstone. Having said that, some of his qualifying performances were not up to scratch. I think Monaco was arguably one of his big blunders, and I know he went out in Q1 quite a few times. I think throughout the season he scored points at Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, 5th place at Baku, a circuit Pierre really likes, Belgium, Italy, and Singapore. Although, of course, whilst he did do well to qualify 7th at Marina Bay, he did drop down to 10th place mostly because the AlphaTauri this year was just an awful car. I don't understand. It just seems to lack grip around high-speed corners. I think that's the problem because all of Yuki's and Pierre's best result all came at circuits where there's a lot of slower speed corners. It's like it has a lot of stability through the slow corners, but for some reason, through the high-speed corners, it just doesn't have the grip or downforce. It's just not a very drivable car. And yes, I know I sound like I'm making excuses for the pair of them, but that just was not a good enough car. Like, the team doesn't deserve any better than finishing 9th. Like, I mean, unless you've got someone like Lewis Hamilton, Leclerc, or Verstappen to drive it, then, I mean, most of the drivers probably would only get 9th place because, frankly, I think the likes of Haas and definitely Aston Martin had a better car, a more drivable car, both in qualifying and in the races. And what can I say, really? I mean, AlphaTauri really are looking like the old Minardi team of the past, really. It's like they're kind of regressing back to their natural state of being backmarkers. And, you know, thank goodness Pierre's leaving this team because I've had enough. I mean, you can tell Pierre's had enough of the Red Bull program. It doesn't really nurture drivers very well. It just seems to just eat and chew out drivers like there's no tomorrow. And I'm glad Pierre's out of it because he doesn't need Herbert Marco constantly whining about him in the media. Oh, get over yourself, Marco. The only driver you care about is Max Verstappen. And look at how he's behaved in the past few races, yeah? So, you know, Pierre Gasly ranked 14th, Yuki Tsunoda 17th. I forgot to mention that on Yuki's segment, but come back for more videos here at Crystal Racing.